The Blackhawks are finally back in action tonight in Long Island. We've got lineups. We've got Who's Your Hawks. We've got Light the Lamp. We got a whole bunch. Stay tuned for the CHGO Blackhawks pregame show. Happy Thursday. Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks pregame show presented by Coors Light. I'm Jay Zawoski with Greg Boyson and Mario Tirabassi. Nate's here running the show. Hawks and Isles drop the puck at 6:30. It feels like forever since the Hawks have played. Is it because they won?
I don't know.
Doesn't it feel like a long time?
It feels like it's been enough time. I've missed them enough.
Yeah.
After a win, I want more of it. So now I'm actually excited for tonight's game. It hasn't been often that I've been excited for a game like this, or expected to be excited for a game like this season. The way it was going, I'm actually excited to see what happens tonight, even with it being the Islanders.
I was going to say,
I'm excited.
It's Blackhawks Islanders.
Even with it being likely a slodge of a game, I'm excited.
Did you read my game preview today?
I actually did.
And you're still excited. Wow.
Hey, it's hockey. It might not be. It might not be good-looking hockey, but it's hockey nonetheless.
What are the odds, by the way, with all the expectations that this is going to be a slog and it's going to be 2-1, that it's a 6-5
track meet
circus match?
No chance.
No chance?
Did you see the rosters of these teams?
I have, yes, I have.
And you have two good goaltenders playing, which makes it,
Blackhawks legend Ilya Sorokin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Remember those 9 minutes he was going to be
that was a fun 12 minutes.
Hey, Darren Dreger still has that tweet up.
It is.
Yeah.
It is still up.
There. Yeah.
Well,
those 9 minutes. Those were the best 9 minutes of Blackhawks goaltending.
Let's live in that time.
Yeah.
Let's live in that time. All right, let's do this right away. Anders Sorensen met the media. And by the way, I'm going with Anders. I feel vilified because when Arvid Soderblom got the tool belt after the Rangers win, he said,
Vindicated?
Shout out to Anders.
You mean vindicated?
What did I say?
Vilified.
Yes, I meant vindicated.
There you go. Okay.
I feel vindicated.
It can be two things.
I am vilified, but I feel vindicated.
There you go.
And then Connor Murphy said it too. Anders. In a Hawks published video.
Well, what did Anders say?
He said, I guess you can call me Anders if you want because you're ignorant. I think that's what he said.
That's what he said, yeah.
So here is Anders Sorensen on tonight's game.
Very similar to last game. Smitty is coming back in the lineup instead of Joey Anderson.
What do you tell Joey Anderson when he's put on waivers but he's still here?
I thought he played really well. That's what we told him. He had a good game. He had a strong game, and it's a little bit of a numbers game. But he's a pro. He gets it, and he's ready to go.
Well, that's the thing with him. It seems like he always plays well. He does his role really well, but he always seems to be the odd man out.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's what happens sometimes, right, at this level. But we're really happy where he's at, and we know that he's always ready to go. So that's a huge benefit for us as a group.
Is Soderblom starting?
Yep.
Martinez, you said he'd be reevaluated. Is there any update on him?
No, he just went back home for further evaluation.
Okay. So it was kind of a setback if he went home.
Further evaluation.
With the defenseman jumping up, Murphy was saying that he's kind of aware that maybe the defensemen as a whole are not the most offensively talented compared to other teams, but you're asking more of them in that regard. Do you feel like they're well suited to do what you're asking of them?
Yeah, I think it helps the whole group, right? I think we stay more connected and also help the D with their gaps, right? I think that's kind of, you can look at it two ways, right? Like for offense, absolutely, we want them up, but we also want them to establish a good gap and stay connected as a group and create some turnovers and stuff like that. So it's an important part of the game for us.
What has allowed you guys to have such a successful penalty kill this year?
Oh, that's a great question. I just came in, and Diener's been running that all year. He's probably a better guy to answer. He does a great job with those guys. So I think he's a better guy to answer.
Do you have any status update on Seth Jones? Speaking of offensive defensemen.
Just he skated, what was it, 4 or 5 days ago? And then I believe he's going to hopefully skate in the next few days, sir. See where he's at.
So, I mean, it's possible, like, when you guys get back home that he could be in the lineup soon?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure yet. Yeah.
And how about Mrazek?
Yeah, it's still the same timeline, at least a week, at least.
Rockford's had a few tough games since you left. What have you heard about how things are going there?
Yeah, they lost some guys to injuries, and I think, everything, there's changes, things happen, right? I think I watched some of their game last night. I thought they did some good things. Looked at their numbers this morning, talked to their staff. It looked like they did some good things. They just weren't able to capitalize on their chances.
Is that a challenge for you to not think too much about your old team and focus on the current team? You have to kind of separate that?
Yeah, you separate, but I talk to those guys and I watch them too. I like watching hockey and talking hockey, so I think it's a natural progression. But yeah, they'll turn it around here quick.
Mark Eaton not having any coaching experience, really. Have you given him any tips on how to do things on there?
Yeah, a little bit here and there, but he's handled it well. And I think, he's been in the game for so long. He played for so long. So I thought the transition for him seemed pretty natural. And but yeah, a little bit here and there. But
All right, there he is, Anders Sorensen. So we've learned that Luke Richardson goes
Your NPR
everyone's
voice.
4 weeks.
Right. Everybody's coming back in 4 weeks.
4 weeks.
And
Give it 4
Anders
weeks.
is, we don't know.
Further
I'm not telling-
evaluation.
Yeah.
Further evaluation.
It is.
We're
I
not
know,
telling you
but
nothing.
I'm not telling you.
It is what it is.
I mean, the big news out of that is that Alec Martinez is no longer with the team on the road trip, sent home for further evaluations, which makes me, I don't know, I don't want to make too much out of it, but what made them think he should travel if he's been there for 3 days and all of a sudden he's so bad that he's got to be sent home?
Probably said I'm okay, and he took morning skate today and then left almost immediately. So something didn't go right today.
Yeah, to leave the practice. I think it was yesterday. They didn't have morning skate
yesterday,
but
right.
yesterday. To noticeably leave the practice early. I think it was either
In the first
Mark
few
or Ben.
minutes,
They were like, Alex Martinez is here and he's gone.
Yeah.
I think that might have been something like, I'm gonna test it out, and then I was like, ooh, it's really bad.
But if it's his neck,
It's like a bruise. He got hit with a puck in the neck area.
yeah,
I mean, that's
not here so much,
It's
but
just
right in this
here.
area here.
I mean, if
Christ,
you-
No,
what
looks
happened to your
good.
face?
I mean, if you think about it,
Nerves there.
yeah, combat sports, boxers, MMA fighters, that's where you get hit, you get KO'd and stuff. Not that Martinez got knocked out, but you get hit there, and it can mess with your, if you get hit, it goes up your, muscles and your nerves up here. It could mess with your, equilibrium.
Yeah,
and stuff
maybe
like that.
just getting on skates, you realize.
Yeah, you might just be like, ooh, I'm not balanced right, or something like that.
Or maybe it's still sore and he got on the ice and he realized he couldn't turn his head and he was like, "That's not,
Yeah.
not good."
That's not ideal.
Yeah, you
It's
need
not
to have your head
good,
on a
so-
swivel playing hockey. But
Yeah.
Hopefully, it's nothing super serious, and we'll get updates when the Hawks are back in town and in a few days. And the good news is, not that there's good news out of an injury, but the positive, this is now Kevin Korchinski will probably be playing for a few more games.
big opportunity, yeah.
That's the guy I'm watching the most closely tonight. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I'm want to see him put together back-to-backs, and I think we feel so good, excuse me, about that Rangers win. But it's in the back of your mind, it's like, well, it was the Rangers who have been a disaster, and you're meeting them at their worst part of the season.
Mm-hmm.
What does that game really mean?
But look at where the Blackhawks have been, though.
Sure, no doubt.
I don't think you can poo-poo any kind of win.
You'd be
They
surprised.
also needed one.
You'd be surprised what I can.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean,
sure.
but then you look at the Islanders. This is a very winnable game today too.
Yeah.
Even at full strength, the Islanders are meh. They are the Eastern Conference Nashville Predators. They're boring as hell. Sure, they might make the playoffs, but they're usually a first round exit, and then they pick 20th again, and there they are again. They're like the same team every year. Yeah, they had those back-to-back runs to the Eastern Conference Finals a few years ago, but they're essentially like the Eastern Conference version of what the Predators have been since their existence. meh. They're there. Oh, cool. They made the playoffs, but nobody's ever going to pick them to win a round.
They effectively play the way that Luke Richardson had this Blackhawks team playing.
Right. They want to win every game 1-0.
Yeah.
They want to win this game 1-0. They want to win every game 1-0. Even with Patrick Waugh as their coach, they're still boring.
Right. Yeah.
But they've got a ton of guys out. Alan Pellick is out. Their best player, Matthew Barzal, is out.
That's big.
Anthony Duclair, who was their big free agent signing this year, hasn't played yet. She got hurt in preseason. So they're missing some.
This is a game the Hawks should win.
They definitely should win. I mean, their roster is not great. They've got decent top six. You got Horvat and Nelson and Andersley, not Anders, and Kyle Palmieri, who have always wanted on the Blackhawks. I'm a big fan of that guy. But look at their bottom six. Their bottom six is bad. Who the hell is Simon Holmstrom?
He's Simon Holmstrom.
Casey Zizekas has been there for 100 years.
Casey Zizekas.
Pierre Engvall was put on waivers and sent to the AHL this season. The corpse of Matt Martin is still out there checking people. Wow. Kyle McLean, son of John McLean, not the cool one from Die Hard, but the old devil. And Oliver Wahlstrom.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oliver
Wallstrom.
The other Wallstrom.
A lot of people wanted him.
Yeah, fourth round pick. At least he's in the NHL. It took him 8 years, but congratulations. So they're going to try and slog up the zone. It's going to be an interesting contrast because now the Blackhawks, thank God Luke Richardson's not coaching this game because it would be the worst hockey game.
I would not be excited for it.
I'd call in sick.
Yeah.
But at least with Anders Sorensen, you've got a team that wants to get the puck up the ice fast and a team that wants to stop you from doing that.
Yeah.
So let's see who wins out.
The immovable object versus the irresistible force.
Yeah.
Or the movable force versus the resistible object.
Neither. A note you had in your, I'm not going to steal it, the Islanders penalty kill at home.
Well, it's not good anywhere. This was I put this tidbit in my preview. The Blackhawks need to get some penalties tonight.
Yes.
Because the Islanders have the worst penalty kill in the entire league at 65.6%. At home, they are 51.9%.
That's insane.
That's
crazy.
Bad. But here's where that might get difficult.
Okay.
The Blackhawks have drawn the second fewest penalties in the league this season.
Well, when you don't have the puck.
The Islanders have taken the second fewest penalties in the league. So they don't take a lot of penalties. That's why they
don't take a lot of penalties, but they can't kill them when they do.
Because it's 51.9% at home, but they've probably taken 7 penalties.
Right. Yeah.
Still, that a 50% penalty kill is
so
unreal.
If you can get them on the penalty kill, you're going to score a goal. The problem is getting them on the penalty kill. The Hawks don't draw penalties, and the Islanders don't take penalties. So that'll be interesting to see how that goes. Cool. Here's a fun fact while looking up those stats today. The Vegas Golden Knights, when they play, don't expect any special teams. The Vegas Golden Knights have drawn the fewest penalties in the league and have taken the fewest penalties.
Wow,
interesting.
That is so I love when
it's
stats
a lot of
like that.
5-on-5 hockey.
But it's so strange that it's the same team,
Yeah.
the fewest at both categories.
And we're well enough into the season now where it's not really a fluke.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
You are what you are. It's
Yeah.
American Thanksgiving is past.
Well, hopefully, with this new system that we've talked about for the last week now, playing in motion, getting the feet moving, being active all over the ice. Hopefully, that can lead to the Blackhawks having to force Islanders to take some stick penalties, be able to try and tire them out a little bit and not be on your heels, because being on your heels and not having the puck, you can't draw penalties that way. So you're going to be playing aggressive, playing fast. It should bode well. Knock on wood.
Yes. A couple comments I want to get to before we hit the break zone. Deadhawk points out that now with the start, Arvid Soderblom is now waivers eligible.
Would need waivers, yep.
So he has hit that mark. So when Mrazek comes back, and if Brossoit comes back 4 weeks, then he'll have to be waived to go to Rockford. So maybe they make a trade. Maybe they make a move. We'll see.
Yeah.
Cross Colorado off. They've got their goaltender and Mackenzie Blackwood.
Hey, you never say
Never
never.
know.
They might trade a third goaltender.
He might be bad too, and they'd be like, "The hell with it! Get us every subpar goalie in the league.
And somebody in there was asking about, hey, isn't this the game that Frank Nazar was supposed to be called up on? I heard it on, I saw it on the interwebs.
Yeah, well, how'd that work out? I was
it
looking
was
forward to that.
Gurney's 2-1-2.
Yeah, so the Blackhawks and Islanders play twice in the next 4 days. What is it? Thursday, Friday, 4 days. Saw that. Ice Hawks play Saturday night at home, Teddy Toss night. Blackhawks play Saturday afternoon and Sunday afternoon with travel in between. I would say if Frank Nazar is
too much for a pregame show.
Yeah,
Sorry.
this is not even a pregame
the Bulls
show.
Pregame show is screaming.
Matt Peck is losing his mind right now.
It's not even a
It is-
play today.
It is reverberating off of the wall.
Yeah, it's an off day show.
He's throwing things.
Wow.
I have
he's gonna-
no idea. Okay.
I think
All
he's-
right,
I think
good
he's
time to
gonna come
regroup and hit the
busting
break
through the
zone.
Okay,
Yeah.
break zone.
Before-
No, Frank
yeah.
Nazar's not playing tonight. Unlikely to play Sunday, I would say, based off of logistics.
All right, before we hit the break, we got to decide who will hit the
What is-
will light the lamp.
Somebody needs to chill in that room over
Presented
there.
by Coors Light. Who's going to light the lamp for the Blackhawks tonight, boys? Who do we got?
Kevin Korchinski.
We're going to go with Kevin Korchinski.
Wellness check.
Because why the hell not? And to make Holly happy.
There you go. Holly, very popular in these chats these days.
I don't know.
She's like
She's bringing the lols.
the whole glass wall is covered in hats.
Wow. That's a lot of
A
hats.
wall of hats over there.
Oy, it's like a lid's in there. All right. Well, we got to hit the break zone. We'll be back in a minute on CHGO Blackhawks. But when you're a Bulls fan and you're Matt Peck and things are going either, I don't know if things are going too well.
I
for
don't
the Bulls.
I don't know.
You never know.
Understand. He seems more mad when they win.
Yes.
Yeah,
Uh,
they must have won.
either way, I'm gonna bring one of these Coors Lights over to Matt Peck when our show's over because he needs to choose chill, and there's times where we all need to choose chill, and when you do, reach for a Coors Light. It's mountain cold refreshment. You know that by now. We've been telling you about it for months and months and months. It is the perfect beer when you embrace a chill mindset, and when those mountains turn blue, it's as cold as the Rockies. So get some Coors Light right now
Chill.
before puck drop. Go to CoorsLight.com/CHGO hockey. Get some Coors Light delivered to your door via Instacart. Again, CoorsLight.com/CHGO hockey. We remind you to always celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. I like the idea of Korchinski as the light the lamp guy because looked really good against the Rangers, and he commented, I think it was yesterday, saying like he kind of felt like he got his swag back a little bit.
It's good.
And we've talked about this since the inception of the show and before the inception of the show that young defensemen who are just trying to find their way in the league are really just trying to keep it cool, right? They look calm, but they're really not. To see him kind of play the Kevin Korchinski game, I mean, now and again, last year you saw it like glimpses here and there, but I think the game against the Rangers was probably the most offensively aggressive he looked as a Hawk.
That I can remember. Yeah, I would say so. And I think there's something to be said for, like, we haven't seen him since the end of last year, and he's had it's more time to, physically mature, be in a training program, and get some work down in Rockford on those small little minor details of his game, so that the next NHL game you see, he looks like a different player than he did for the most part of last season. So I mean, it's good. It's good for him. I mean, it's we talked about it last season. We would have loved for him to have been able to go to Rockford as a 19-year-old, but he couldn't. So he was in the NHL to try and kind of be tossed into the deep end and see if he could sink or swim. And I think to expect him to light up the league right away would have been foolish and overconfident in his abilities to do so. But now in professional year 2, he's been around the block a little bit more in pro hockey, a little bit bigger, filled out more, can get bigger, stronger, faster as time goes on. Like, I think that all bodes well for him. And yeah, I mean, young defensemen, very rarely can you get a young defenseman that's going to step on the ice day one in the NHL being under 21 years old, and they're going to be like shut down, locked into place, 20-plus minute guys that are going to be super effective. Like, that's incredibly rare.
Yeah.
So it's good for him to get this time.
Yeah, let's see him get 2 in a row. It was a good foundation game. So let's see what he can do out there tonight, against a team that cares about playing hockey more than the team he played the other night,
Yeah, definitely.
The Rangers have been phoning it in for a couple of weeks now. So, but it's that mindset we saw. He definitely played a fearless hockey game, and we didn't really see a lot of that last season. Saw a lot of that while he was in Seattle, but we saw glimpses of it, shift here, shift there, but we never saw it for a full game like we saw on Monday. So I want to see that for 2 games in a row. And you know what? If he's on the ice for a goal against because he was trying to make something happen in the offensive zone, I'm not going to be mad at him. I'm not going to be mad. I'm
down with that.
We talked to PD yesterday, and he's like, the Hawks are going to play this more aggressive 2-1-2 system, which can lead you to giving up a lot more goals the other way. Fine.
Right.
You were losing trying to win 1-0, so lose trying to win 7-6 instead.
Yes.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, me too.
This team needs to score more goals. Try to score more goals. If it leads to you giving up more goals, fine. You're still going to lose what you're going to lose anyway in the old system. So just
might as well have fun doing it.
Yeah, and entertain me too, please.
Well, here's the lineup for tonight that will be trying to score more goals. Connor Bedard centering Kurashev and Mikheyev. Donato is with Hall and Bertuzzi. Dickinson, Foligno, and Teravainen, and Reichel, Maroon, and Smith. Vlasic and Kaiser, Allen and Murphy, Korchinski and Brody are your D pairs, and Arvid Soderblom in goal for the Hawks. I don't know what to think about Kurashev. He's been flat out bad this year, and I don't think he's earned the opportunity to play on the top line. However, all those other lines are working. So I'm kind of conflicted about it. Like, it's maybe under Anders, he gets Kurashev going a little bit. Maybe he feels like he could be the guy to unlock that a little bit and show him some faith, show him some compassion, and say, hey, look, I think you're better than you're playing. I want to give you a chance to prove it. But I don't know. I'm not ready to give up on him yet, but I'm starting to feel like this Philip Kurashev and the Kurashev we saw before last year is more close to the real Philip Kurashev than what we saw last season.
I'm not ready to give up on him, but I'm ready to stop playing him on the top line.
Yeah.
As I've been saying for a few days now, the simplest solution, swap out he and Lucas Reichel. Maybe Maroon and Smith give the same boost to Kurashev as they did with Reichel, and then you get him going again, and then give Reichel a chance to play with Bedard for 4 or 5 games in a row. See what happens. But what do I know?
I think Kurashev, I mean, he's kind of getting, him and Reichel kind of like swapped from last season.
Switched to Freaky Friday.
Yeah, they've Freaky Friday'd, where there have been a few games where Philip Kurashev has been zeros across the board in not only like goals, assists, shots on goal, but also like scoring chances, actual shot attempts, zeros, no hits, no blocks, no takeaway. Like, there was a game a few games ago where it was literally like the only way he showed up in the score sheet was his minutes played and the 4 faceoffs he took.
Yeah.
And it was just like he's got to be able to make an impact more often. And it doesn't necessarily, like, a lot of guys, like, their success doesn't have to come down to like their point production. It's always nice, but if you're doing other things when the goals aren't coming and setting up plays, like, if that's not coming, if you're at least doing the things to set up your team for success in other ways, blocking shots, playing physical, making smart plays, like, that's one way to get it done. But it just hasn't seemed like Kurashev is, in the games where he's not impacting the scoreboard, he's also not impacting the score sheet. And it's just like, you can't just kind of be out there as a non-factor. And he was scratched twice under Richardson. He's getting top minutes again with Connor Bedard, and I don't know, I just feel like if he continues to not really impact the game when you're playing with Connor Bedard, like, That can't happen with this team. So I like, if you want to put Reichel up there because he has played his way into earning that kind of shot, I'm fine with it. I don't think Bedard and Reichel necessarily work together unless Lucas Reichel's playing with confidence. But man, it's just like, it just seems like how many chances is Kurashev going to get getting the same results?
I wonder if he's just serving as a placeholder until they do decide to call up Nazar, which does sound like it's going to be soon based on what everybody's kind of saying.
I mean, I feel like at this point it's that feels like the easy
like give those other three lines time to gel, time to get some chemistry going, and then you call up Nazar, you put him on the line,
right?
The top line, even if it's with Mikheyev and Bedard, and maybe Kurashev sits. I mean, at this point, I'm not opposed to it. Maybe he goes down. I know that complicates things, but
at 5-on-5, Philip Kurashev has 28 individual scoring chances for, and 11 individual high danger scoring chances for.
It's not a lot through 26 games.
It's not. I mean, Pat Maroon has 11. Connor Bedard only has 11. But he's got fewer high-danger scoring chances than guys like Craig Smith, Jason Dickinson. Even Ilya Mikheyev has more high-danger scoring chances and just regular scoring chances. Like, it's just hasn't been there this season for Kurashev. Just it doesn't seem, to your point, Mario, where it's just like you could deal with if he's not producing points, you could deal with that if he was producing elsewhere. But his defense hasn't been that good this year. It's just,
I mean, that's been one of the things with him is that, like, it's just like, oh, he's versatile and he plays two ways and he's defensively responsible. He really hasn't been this year. Like, what was he outscored like 19-3 or something like that at 5-on-5 this year with him on the ice? Like,
yeah.
And again, like, not a lot of Blackhawks are playing well, but like that's a big stat,
especially considering how much time he's spent on offensive lines.
Right. And to put it in retrospective, last season, Kurashev at 5-on-5 in 75 games had 95 individual scoring chances. That's over one a game, and 39 individual high danger scoring chances. He was 5th on the team in scoring chances last season, and 6th in high danger chances.
And Beach Picnic Joy does point out, using stats from the old system, that's one thing. This is a new system, a new coaching philosophy. So give him a few games. I think that's fair. And Anders is a guy that has had success with Philip Kurashev before, so maybe that somehow works out again. But again, like it just kind of feels like, based off of the first 27 games of the year, and then you add in the next couple of 4, 5, 6 games, if there's really nothing, then I think you have your common theme.
And sure, it's a different system, but it's still hockey.
Like, it is not so wildly different.
Like,
I know, like, we've made a lot of it. I wrote about it for Blackhawks.
There is a difference, but it's still like Philip Kurashev wasn't bad this year because they're playing the 1-2-2. They played the 1-2-2 last year, and he had a really good season.
Yeah.
So yes, you're not wrong in that. Like, okay, maybe we'll do better with a more aggressive system, but there's a whole season, a sample size playing in that 1-2-2 where it worked. So we can't just blame it on that.
It's not like
system.
It's not like football switching from like pro style to like spread gun.
Oh, I'm a fullback, and all of a sudden now we're running spread. Well, of course my stats are going down.
Yeah.
It's not that dramatic of a change, but maybe just it seems like he's the only guy right now that doesn't have a spot.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, I guess you have to play with Bedard. You had that chemistry last year. By default, we're going to see if you can get it.
You got 3 or 4 more games to figure it out, pal.
You got till whenever Clapbomb douche decides to.
I don't think that's the name.
Well, it should be. When he decides to predict or give us his inside information on when Frank Nazar is going to debut.
Hey, all he said was against the Islanders. He didn't say which game. So we'll see. All right, we got to play Who's Your Hawk?
Do we have to?
Who is
it? You went first, Greg.
Yes. I'm going Connor Bedard.
I think you catch. I think I fall to last tonight. This is my prediction.
I hope so. I'm tired of picking first. It's a lot of pressure. I don't like when you pick first. It's like I probably should, if I don't take Bedard, I'm going to be pissed. Or at least if you pick second, you're like, all right, you can go off the board a little better and not feel weird about it.
Yeah,
But,
the harder decision is made.
The Connor Bedard 2-game point streak. So let's do that again. Let's get some more points, preferably a goal.
All right, I'm going Taylor Hall. I picked second. Just that's the guy who I think seems the most excited about Sorensen when you hear his comments. So I'm going with Taylor Hall.
I'm going with Alex Vlasic. Big minutes and taking the offensive responsibilities now as the top defenseman. I hope he puts up a lot of points. Big volume point night would be nice. And a goal. Why not? What is it, 3 in a row he'd have a goal? He scored against Boston. Scored against the Rangers.
He didn't score against the Rangers. He scored against.
No.
He had 2 in a row.
He had 2 in a row. Didn't score against
This
Rangers.
would be 3 and 4.
3 and 4. How about
That'll
it?
work.
I'll take 3 and 4.
Absolutely. Yeah, Boston and
Winnipeg.
Winnipeg. Right.
That's what it was.
Okay, we're back after the game.
Scored
We'll
against
talk to you
the
then.
Peg.
We'll be full of Mexican food and donuts. Mario brought donuts.
Why did I bring them?
For my birthday.
Jay's birthday.
Jay's birthday.
All right, we'll talk to
We're
everybody
gonna sing to
after
Joe
the
and Jay at the
show.
post-game show.
Talk to you after the game on the CHGO Blackhawks podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.